So this week we are between a message to children on honoring your parents and parents on raising your children as outlined in Ephesians 6. And I thought one way we might bridge the gap between these two talks is to just challenge the parents among us, or for that matter the aunts, uncles, and even grandparents among us, to create moments for our children. What do I mean by that? Well, it's quite easy for us as adults to get so busy living our lives that we forget that in addition to doing that, we are to be giving our lives to the children that we have influence over. And much of what they'll remember of that influence will no doubt be formed out of the moments that we've created. I was reminded of this fact this week, actually, when we surprised our son Gannon with a trip to Disney World to do one thing: meet the Little Mermaid. And of all the things that my son has talked about in regards to the Little Mermaid, one thing he said is if he ever got to meet her, he wanted to present her with flowers. Which is why, at 8 o'clock at night, when we arrived in Orlando, I was driving all over town trying to find a place to get said flowers. But, alas, it was all worth it when we got to Disney World and he presented her with the bouquet and a moment was created. Now, granted, not every moment will be this big. I mean, after all, how many times can a family afford Disney World? But it does raise a question, which is, how many seemingly small moments do we miss creating with our children every day of every week because we're too busy living our lives? Too busy to splash in a puddle, too busy to race through the house, too busy to pull off and grab an ice cream, too busy to say, I love you. Life, after all, is not just about living, it's about giving. And one of the things that you and I have to give are moments to our children that they will remember for a lifetime. So as we pause this week between a message to children and a message to parents, I wonder, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandparent, what moments are you creating to bridge the gap between the generations?